morning. This is kind of the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for maybe the last month, and also just things about what I've been doing. I'll try not to ramble. I couldn't really do Vlogmas even if I was planning on doing it, which I wasn't really. Does that make sense? I've had a bit of chaos. Nothing awful. New windows. So that's a new window. They're not completely finished. I'm waiting for my front door, and I thought it was because I'd chosen a out there colour. But it's just probably because they've got a waiting list. Anyhow, at knitting, Fee is back, and she's making the most fantastic, what do they call it? In quilting, where you'll just start with a square and go along the side. Log cabin, but in 4-ply and varying shades on a theme of rainbow and not too long of any colour. So it's not obviously a rainbow, but absolutely beautiful blends of like pale greens and then darker greens and into sort of mauvey pinks and all the rest of it. So that's absolutely gorgeous. That's what she's brought back with her. That's what she's been doing. Andy's been doing making a few hats. And at least one of them was brioche. And also she's been knitting an Aran jumper for a friend for Christmas. I'm quite thinking she might actually get this one finished for this Christmas. I'll have to see later. But it's kind of, it's just like that colour. It's absolutely gorgeous colour. Like a rich emerald green. I finished Eliza. You know Jill, how she's a whiz. She made a cardigan, shrank it, made it again, and I still haven't finished mine. 9 years later, I think I haven't finished mine. Something like that. Mine's finished now. And her replacements, and she's made a few. It's a Debbie Bliss lace cardigan, sideways cardigan. Only shrunk it. Shrunk 2, actually. And she's put a photo on our chat, and your average cushion. They both fit on it. So, I don't think she's making another one yet. I think she's doing something else. Helen's around. Helen's been making mini sweaters for Christmas trees. Not to go on not sweaters for trees, sweaters to hang on trees, obviously. She's got a craft room now, so she's been getting that sorted. I think she's into quite a lot of crafts. As am I, as you can probably see. But this is kind of my work as well. So Eliza is just absolutely gorgeous. And then I thought, well, I need some, let's go round about 3 times there. I need some wrist ticklers, which is a pattern by Kay from Bakery Bears. I do a lot of dog walking. And just slipping them up and down without thumbs is great, absolutely great. So I had a rummage for little bits and odds and ends, and I found the green. And then I found the lilac, and I thought, well, they go nice together. And I ran out, and then I went to Maggie's house. And she says, have a look around, see if you can find some, you can have it. I had a look around, and it was like the perfect match, which I really couldn't understand. So I finished them. But then I realised it was when I was unravelling one of her big knots for her. Any little balls, I thought, oh, she doesn't need these. These will just knot it all up again. The big balls. So I'd put one in my bag. And that was why I had the same one. And I didn't realise until I'd got them finished that everything went together. It's a kind of subconscious thing, isn't it, colour? It can be very subconscious. Oh, I've got my sock stuck. Oh, right. There's a sewing machine here, an industrial one. And then this one's a domestic one, quilting one. Quilting's more my thing. I don't quilt for other people very much. This is new. This is a hemming machine, like a blind hemmer. You know when you buy a skirt from a posher shop? I mean, I'm only talking Marks and Spencer's, something like that. All right. When you get an invisible hem, so you can't see on the outside of your skirts and your trousers. That only does that, but it does it very, very well and much better than that. There's an overlocker there in the distance. And a selection of threads up there. And another selection of bigger threads down here. So that's what I do. I do alterations and dressmaking, but mainly special alterations. Like prom dresses and wedding dresses. I've got a few wedding dresses in. And lots of bookings for prom dresses for next year already. But something arrived today. The reason I'm telling you this is because I do get some strange requests. I was asked to put a new zip in a flotation suit. I thought, is that one of them things, you know, like it was on Absolutely Fabulous, where she was shut in a box. I thought you'd go in there with like no clothes on or a swimming costume or something. So I thought, well, is it made of neoprene or something like that? No. Anyway, she's just turned up. And it smells of fish and beer. Great. And it's a flotation sort of waterproof salopette thing for fishing on the beach. And she said, I brought this down in the car and I'm sorry it stinks. She said, I think it smells of beer. I don't know if he's been drinking when he's been fishing. Well, I live here and I see them unload all the fishing gear and all the beer and then go down on the beach fishing, sea fishing, but from the beach. When the wind's right and the weather's right, they can be there at midnight. I mean, I'm not there at midnight, but if you go past, you see the little lights. They've all got little lights on the top of the fishing rods. So that's what goes on round here. I have another request. I made a man a shirt from this stuff. It's for the coronation. But he's had the fabric for 10 years, so it wasn't originally. So I've made him a shirt. And now he wants... How do you wear a bowler? He wants a trim for this. So I'm going to do something like that for him. And then he also wants a fleur-de-lis, which I shall put on the side somewhere like that. So that's kind of one of my next jobs. Got a bit quieter now, so that's good. Well then. Coffee. Black coffee. Because that's where it's at. This sweater I've got on underneath, it's actually a Marie Wallen design. I'm not sure of the name. And it was in kid silk originally, but this is way softer. Can't think what it is. I should have made a note. I might add it underneath if I can do so. It's an unusual one for Marie Wallen. Not being Fair Isle or anything like that. It's very, very nice. Anyhow, knitting tonight. Last one before Christmas. And we've moved. So where we are now, we're in a Morrison's car park in a Costa that's a drive-through. So it's not in a Next shop. And there aren't alarms going off all the time on the doors like there was. And it's not too hard to find a parking spot, which is great. Because as it gets close to Christmas, oh, it used to get really bad trying to find somewhere to park. I just thought of something else. So, in late summer, went to a festival of thrift at Kirklerington Hall near Middlesbrough. And one of the stalls was selling some really useful bits and bobs. I bought these, which are samples. At the top I've got all the velvets that were available for your sofa in a plethora of shades of gorgeousness. I must have missed some nice purples there. With all these, I haven't yet decided, because they're quite a heavy upholstery sort of velvet. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with them. But they do all go together, really. And then I bought another shade sort of box that had all of these, which are all mohair, silk, linen, viscose, all natural fibres. Just absolutely gorgeous. That's a wool one. Silks. It's hard to show them really. And the colours really aren't showing up very well on the screen, but they're all kind of greens and duck eggs, I would say. It's really hard to do that. And yeah, sort of mustardy colours. Some are shiny. Some of them are thinner, so they won't. But what I'm thinking of doing, I have a leather sofa with 2 seat cushions that I've already covered in fabric. And I'm thinking of patchworking and recovering them because they need recovering. So maybe more of me next week, or maybe not. I'll only do a little video if I've got something to show. Or something interesting to say even, maybe. So more news, maybe, next week.